Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are having a beautiful day. As I've said in a previous video, I've been bouncing back and forth between New York and Pennsylvania. And today I am currently back in Pennsylvania. And we're going to do a little tour today. And we are still on the trail of the family Revolutionary War ties. So we are here just outside of Chad's Ford, and we're going to make our way to the Battle of Brandywine battlefield and see what's in store. It has strange. The Welcome Center has some weird hours. It looks online like the Welcome Center is open on Fridays and Saturdays, 10 till 4. So we kind of had to squeeze this in, on the beginning of a weekend. So if you bear with me while we get turned around and start on our way. Chad's Ford's just down the road. I am in Kennett Square, so it's not that far. So let's take a little drive. According to somebody I asked, they said this will probably be 2 years in building. So we're going to let you go. And let this horse trailer go through. Then we'll stop. We're just passing out of Kennett, and the bridge you see up there, that's the entrance to Longwood Gardens, which was DuPont's big thing, one of their big things. And maybe someday I'll do that. It's quite huge. I would think it would take more than one day to go through. Some of the houses on the left, those were old housing for the people who worked at for DuPont. Very interesting. I think I looked at one of the houses when I was looking for something to buy here. I'm thinking it should be up here just a little bit. I know I've seen signs for it. And I believe the blue sign on the right is one of the signs for it. We're entering the Brandywine Battlefield National Historic Monument. Originally, I had thought that I was going to cut out a lot of the video of me driving from Kennett Square to the battleground, but then I had second thoughts. Much of the land that is east of Longwood Gardens and the Brandywine was indeed part of the battleground, and so I thought what I thought would be interesting to show is just how much this area has been developed and built over. And so this is what can happen if you don't decide that some place is important enough to save. And I know that you can't save everything. It's impractical, and you just can't do it. But you know, a place like this, I think in some ways is more important to save than other areas. It's pretty humbling to think that men fought and died all along this area. So that's why I decided to keep it in. Give you an idea of just how congested this area has become over the years. So now that we're in Chadds Ford, this is just a interesting little factoid about Chadds Ford. If anybody is familiar with the 20th century painter Andy Wyeth, he lived here in Chadds Ford. A lot of the paintings that he did are representations of places that he actually knew and was at here. And the Brandywine Conservancy and Museum of Art houses a lot of his family's art. There's also a kind of a horse racing tie-in here, in that his daughter-in-law, Andy Wyeth's daughter-in-law, Jamie's wife, owned a racehorse, thoroughbred racehorse by the name of Union Rags, that won the Belmont Stakes in 2012. It's a little harder to find than I thought. I know it's supposed to be up on the left up here. Brandywine battlefield. There's a sign. There's a sign. Brandywine battlefield. Let's go this way. Visitor Center closes at 4. On Battle of Brandywine on September 11th, 1777, an American force of about 11,000 men, commanded by Washington, attempted to halt a British advance into Pennsylvania. The Americans were defeated near Chad's Ford on Brandywine Creek by approximately 18,000 British and Hessian troops under Howe. And we're going to do this slowly. Whoa, baby. Brandywine Battlefield Visitors Park. Let's go check this place out. Is there parking back here? It looks like there's parking back here. Very cool. Ay, ay, ay. This is a little tight, but we'll do it. We'll work it. Let's go this way. So we're here, guys. Let's go check this place out. This is the visitor center, and we'll see if we can get some information. This is Pennsylvania Historic Museum and Commission are the ones in charge of this. This map shows you where Washington was headquartered at the Visitor Center Museum and the Gideon Gilpin home. This map shows you how to get to where the main battle was fought between General Washington and General Howe's forces. Interesting. And then the timeline, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 2:30 to 3:30, 4:30 to 6, 5:30, 7 p.m., 7:30. Let's see. Wow, look at the pretty trees. Nice. Wonder how long they've been there. This is the entrance. Is it okay to take video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wow, cool. Cool beans. Let me look up. This is in the museum. Cool. The Battle of Brandywine. Diorama.
Cornwallis and Howe proceeded to march north and flanking him. They crossed the Brandywine, first at Gimbal Fort, and then at Bedford Fort, gaining a strategic position at Osborne Hill, from Brandywine. Here's Washington, but he didn't cover Washington. Received conflicting reports both from British and American flanking. As the British appeared on Washington's right flank, he realized he had been outmaneuvered and quickly worked on the road to take the high ground. Way up.
Just came out of the visitor center. It's a little sad that they haven't preserved the battlefield like they did at Saratoga. Like Gettysburg has been pretty much preserved. According to the young man in the visitors center, much of this battlefield has been built over. So, but there are a couple of places that it looks like on the map that we can kind of check out, and we'll go see. So it looks like we're going to head toward the up to the right toward the Root House and the Gilpin House. So we're going to see if we're going to get into trouble for going up. There's apparently there is a tour, but you have to pay for it. So we're going to see if we can get by and do this. So we're going to head on up here and see what is what we're able to see. Gilpin home. Let's see if we can do this without getting into trouble. lot of cars coming in the opposite direction, so. Apparently you can get a tour out onto the battlefield, but it does cost money. And I'm not sure which way we're supposed to go, but we're gonna go. That's parking, I think. Lots of parking spaces. It is really a shame that they did not preserve this like they preserved the other. So we're gonna, okay, so that road is blocked off. So we're gonna go up this way. Take a look. And we'll see, let's see what we can figure out. Is where 6 would be the corn crib, that's that little building up there. Next to the corn crib is 7, which is the barn. Excuse me while we're trying to do this with notes. Eight is the blacksmith shop right there. This is the blacksmith shop. And let's see what's next to it. So 9 would be the root house. And let's see what it says about the root house. So this is the root house up here. The purpose of this building is unknown despite its name. It may have been used to store salted meat in wooden barrels or other kitchen-related products. Carved in the stone is GG for Gideon Gilpin and the year 1809, the likely year of construction. And then 10, look at that marvelous, marvelous tree. That is the historic sycamore. This gigantic sycamore tree is more than 300 years old. and has served as a focal point for numerous paintings. Wow. Very cool. And 11 would be the Gilpin House. Let's go take a look. Wow, isn't that cool? This was standing here during the war. Wow. Let's read what the plaque says. "1787 to 1867, the National Arborist Association and International Society of Arboriculture jointly recognized this significant tree in this bicentennial year as having lived here at the time of the signing of our Constitution." Wow. Is that just not cool? Wow. I have to get my camera for this. Wow. Is this not cool? Oh my God, is this not cool? Wow. This living, breathing thing was here 300 years ago. Maybe longer than that. Wow. So number 11 is the Gideon Gilpin House. As a third-generation Quaker farmer, Gideon Gilpin attempted to stay true to his Quaker belief of nonviolence during the Revolution. His views changed after British and Hessian troops plundered his house shortly after the Battle of Brandywine, and he pledged allegiance to the American cause. He later opened a tavern on his property. The original part of the house dates to 1745. Wow. Look at those windows. And that giant sycamore. I don't want to go up on the wall, on the thing. Wow. Is that not just beautiful? Look at the branches. That's Route 1 down there. So that's the root house. And that's the barn. And that's the blacksmith shop. So we're heading now toward the Ring House, which is the last really free public thing you can see. The Ring House was Washington's headquarters while he was here. Kind of terrain these men had to fight through. God. Must have been really difficult to tell friend from foe. That's Route 1 down there. You can see how closely built in this is here. So we're going to go up this way because this is the way to Washington's headquarters. Oh, very cool. Again, I'm sad that they did not preserve more of the battlefield. But apparently you can take tours out onto the battlefield. They do charge. So according to the brochure that you get at the Visitors Center, this is the Ring House, and this was Washington's headquarters. Let's see what looks like a little outbuilding. Washington established his headquarters at the farmhouse of Benjamin Ring, a Quaker farmer and miller. On September 9, 1777, its proximity to the Brandywine River, the anticipated British attack, and Ring's sympathy for the American cause made the home a logical location for Washington's headquarters. After the battle, the house was plundered by British troops. A fire ravaged the house in 1931 and it fell into disrepair. In 1949, the property was purchased by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which set about reconstructing the house to its 1777 appearance. The original structure dated to circa 1720. Wow. And the ever-present vegetable gardens that they would have had. Needs a little weeding. I do have to say, maybe it's because Fort Ticonderoga is in private hands that it's actually in really, really good shape. I do kind of wish that they had done the same kind of preservation here. Yeah, see the gardens are overgrown. Wow. In this case, you can truly say George Washington slept here. Christian C. Sanderson, 1882 to 1966. More than any individual in his time, Christian Sanderson focused attention on the Battle of Brandywine, September 11, 1777. He and his mother lived in Washington's headquarters, 1906 to 1922, where they entertained thousands of visitors. Leaving the house in 1922, he stated, "I hope someday there will be a state park on the battlefield." Wow. Wow. Like I say, George Washington slept here. So let's check out the little outbuilding and see what's in here. Apparently you can take tours, but again, I haven't paid, so we obviously can't do the tour. Wow. Some kind of storage building. That's part of the tour. So that's it, everybody. There's not a whole lot here, but what's here, they treasure and they try to protect. It's like I said, it's a shame they didn't protect more of it. There's a movie that you can watch. Again, they do charge for that. They charge for the tour of the house, which again, I didn't pay for the tour of the house, so. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. So we're off. Thanks for watching. This has been interesting. It's a very historic area. So thanks for tagging along. I appreciate you. And it's off on the next adventure. See you down the road. Hey, so we're getting back to you after a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, we did the Brandywine, the Visitors Center, and Washington's headquarters, and the Root House and all that. And so after a little bit of digging and some research and some trips through Google Maps, we have found what appears to be a good portion of the battlefield that hasn't been turned into condos and houses and businesses. One thing that you will notice about this area, if you've seen the video so far, is that so much of this property has been, like I said, turned into houses, and it's been built out. So we're lucky to have found this. It's not attached to the Brandywine Battlefield Park. So we're going to go take a walk. There's supposed to be a statue of Lafayette here. And there are some boards, I see, some information boards here. And it appears to be a great park to walk your dog. So let's see what else it is. So what we found is the Sandy Hollow Brandywine Battlefield Trail. And give you a look, there are lots of houses around here. So this is what it looks like. Park closes from sunset to sunrise. And as you can see, there's a trail around it. Lots of places to sit. And there are some plaques up there. So we're going to take a look. And since I don't have my gimbal with me to keep everything from shaking, we're going to avoid doing the walk thing, and I will film when we get where we've got to go. And we'll check it out. Sandy Hollow Heritage Park. Welcome to Sandy Hollow, part of the Brandywine Battlefield National Historic Landmark. On September 11, 1777, the Continental Army was positioned here to stop the advance of the British forces intending to march to Philadelphia to capture the city. This vista of meadow and patches of forest remains much as it was during the colonists' struggle for independence from Britain. And then there's some instructions, rules, pretty standard. In the chaos of battle, a key to an army's likely success was keeping the line of soldiers and musket fire intact. A symbol of regimental pride, a flag marked the position of the regiment on the smoke-filled, noisy battlefield. The Brandywine flag was a barrier carried by Captain Robert Wilson's company of the 7th Pennsylvania Regiment. The company flag received the name after it was used in the Battle of Brandywine. The flag is red, with a red and white American flag image on the canton. Some stories indicate that the flag may have flown earlier at the Battle of Couch's Bridge in Delaware on September 3rd, 1777. Captain Wilson may also have brought it to the Battle of Paoli, 9/21/1777, and the Battle of Germantown, 10/4/1777. Interesting. Let's see what this plaque says up here with a cannon. You have a common cause fought and triumphed together. The independence and liberty you possess are the work and joint counsels and joint efforts of common dangers, suffering, and success. Washington's Farewell Address, September 17th, 1796. This is a 3-pound Revolutionary War cannon reproduction dedicated by the citizens of Birmingham Township, PA, May 17th, 2014. Sandy Hollow Heritage and Birmingham Heritage Park and Birmingham Hill are preserved open spaces that allow public access to a portion of the Brandywine Battlefield National Historic Landmark. The most intense fighting of the Battle of Brandywine took place here at Sandy Hollow on September 11th, 1777. I believe, I may have to check this, but I believe that this was the longest days-long battle, single days-long battle in the war. I will have to check that to make sure. But this is it. So we have a couple more of the plaques here. The Battle of Brandywine involved 28,000 soldiers in combat and was the largest and longest battle of the American Revolution. After marching 17 miles in 9 hours from Kennett Square, General Howe's army took a break for tea to rest and refresh in the vicinity of Osborne's Hill. This allowed General Washington to reposition many of his troops from the eastern side of the Brandywine Creek to form a defensive line near the Birmingham meeting. You are positioned in the vicinity of Stevens' regiment. Imagine columns of redcoats across a half a mile descending the south side of Osborne's Hill in the distance. Battalion flags flying, drums beating. 5 p.m. Sandy Hollow, the 2nd American Defense. The first line of colonial defense broke in confusion under heavy fire. The most significant fighting took place along the Birmingham and Wiley roads in the vicinity of the Birmingham meeting and what is now Sandy Hollow Heritage Park. The Continental Army fought valiantly, reforming on high ground in a wavering but often amazingly courageous defense. It was disputed muzzle to muzzle. The line gave way 5 times, reforming and pushed further back. The high ground of Sandy Hollow Heritage Park marks the sunset stand as slowly the colonials were driven back by overwhelming forces and firepower. Dusk was closing in, ammunition was low, and many of the 3- and 4-pound cannons had been lost. Both sides were exhausted by long marches and a nearly 2-hour battle. The Continental left flank finally gave way, and Greene's men held the Sandy Hollow area, while a fighting retreat began toward Dilworth Town. There were substantial casualties. Many of the dead on both sides were buried near where they fell and in the Birmingham burying grounds. While the battle was a significant loss for General Washington's army, it was a turning point in the war because of the strong resolve it fostered among the Continentals to carry on the fight for freedom. Where is George Washington? 10 a.m. George Washington was prepared to defend the east side of the Brandywine Creek against the entire British Army. He concentrated his army around the largest crossing point on the river, Chad's Ford, and deployed men to 6 smaller fords along the creek. Washington had difficulty gathering reliable intelligence. He was unaware of Trimble's Ford and Jeffers Ford 6 miles north of Chad's Ford, and received conflicting reports about the exact location of the British Army throughout the afternoon. 12 noon, Squire Chevney reported seeing British troops heading toward Jeffers Ford. Colonel Ross confirmed this report. With just a portion of Howe's army on the other side of the creek, Washington saw a small window of time to strike. He sent Maxwell's division across the creek at Chad's Ford to attack. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Knifeusens, and I butchered that one, I'm sure, troops. 1:15 p.m., Major Joseph Spear reported no sightings of British troops further north, and Washington once again believed he was facing the full British Army at Chad's Ford. Maxwell's division was pulled back. 2 p.m. Colonel Bland confirmed Howe had split his army. Fortunately for the Continentals, Cornwallis instructed his troops to break for tea. This lull allowed for the divisions of Stephen, Sterling, and Sullivan to attempt to get into position to protect Birmingham Hill. About 5 p.m., the noise of the cannon from the north combined with, again, I am not going to try and pronounce his name, relative inaction on the west side of the Brandywine Creek finally convinced Washington that the main British force was indeed at Birmingham. Washington, accompanied by, among others, Timothy Pickering, Henry Knox, Alexander Hamilton, and Casimir Pulaski, galloped at a brisk pace to the sounds of fighting toward Dilworth Town. Following close behind were 2 divisions of Nathan Greene, which had been held in reserve. Greene's column moved at remarkable speed, covering 4 miles in 45 minutes. Around 5:45 p.m., Washington arrived to see the Americans in retreat. Knox positioned his pair of artillery pieces on a knoll overlooking Wilmington Pike and began shelling the advancing British. Wow. You are standing next to a Civil War era cannon. Its sister cannon is located at the corner of Birmingham and Wiley Roads. Each cannon weighs about 6,000 pounds. They were acquired by local Congressman Tom Butler from the War Department and arrived in Westchester August 14, 1900. The cannon was placed at the approximate center of the right flank of the Continental Line. Very cool. During the Battle of Brandywine, the Continentals fought tenaciously against a superior British force. The Sandy Hollow site commemorates the location of some of the fiercest hand-to-hand combat of the Revolution, with significant loss of life on both sides. Wow. So this is the hill that we just came down, and we have about another 2/3 of the way to go around the loop. Like I said, we're not doing the walking with the camera because I don't have my gimbal with me, and otherwise it'll be really shaky, and I'm trying to make this look good. These historic places for me are labors of love. So that's just where we came around, and then we'll pan up to the top of the hill again. It's really humbling to think that people fought and died here, and you're walking on land that was saw some really bitter battles. These trips into the Revolutionary War history have been quite eye-opening for me, and I've learned a lot. Still have a lot more to learn. This whole area is surrounded by private property, which, again, I can't believe how little of this was saved, but I guess that's the way it goes. They were lucky at Ticonderoga in that the people that ended up owning it were really concerned about saving it. And Saratoga is out in the middle of the country, so that really got saved. As is Bennington. Bennington battlefield is also kind of out in the middle of the rural countryside. So I guess they were lucky saving this much. Still walking around. That's the hill where the parking lot is, and the plaques are. And this is South New Road that you see in the distance. And it's off of 926, or Street Road, in near Westchester, closer to Westchester than we are to Unionville. I'm not quite sure if this is Chad's Ford, or still part of Chad's Ford, or what.